Hello, I'm Kristen Brosnowski, Executive Editor of World Screen, and I'm speaking with RJ Mitte, who is starring in Carol of the Bells. Hi, RJ.
Hey, how are you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and thank you so much for talking to us about this fantastic movie. Tell me, what appealed to you about doing this project initially?
So this project, for those who haven't seen it and for those who have, there's a lot of elements to the story. And Joey Travolta, the man that created this film and put the crew together, invited me to be a part of it. And he had such an amazing vision for this story and for my character, Scott, and his journey into finding out who he is. And, I think for me, um, anytime I pick a project, I make sure it has meaning and then I make sure it has relevance or something that will invoke or spark an emotion in someone. And for me, this film, with Joey's vision and what he wanted to do with it, and kind of hopefully set the tone for more movies like this, grabbed me from the start.
And tell us a little bit more about your character's journey throughout this movie, where we find him when we come in and then toward the end, without any spoilers, of course.
Yeah, no. So, my character and his wife with a baby on the way, kind of uncover some stuff about who his birth parents were. And, I'm adopted as well. So I feel that anytime we can show adoption in positive lights and kind of like make that common for a lot of people, because it's a very common thing. Um, starting to uncover things about himself and uncover things about who his family was and is, and learning to accept certain things that can be harder for others to accept.
This movie is emotional, but how does it balance this intense emotional experience with also being quite heartwarming?
This movie was made with a I want to say 75%. I just stick to 70% disabled casting crew. From in front of the camera to behind the camera to working and writing and all aspects of this business. And I think that really shined through into our work and into what we were building. And we shot in Bakersfield, and the welcome that we got there was so warm from all the people that we rented spaces from and utilized the community with. And people were like, we want this film to succeed, and we did it in 14 days. So it was kind of one of those things that, like, you know budgets like this, there's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of funding. It all comes from the heart, and it comes from vision and wanting to see that vision through. And we all felt the same way when it came to our roles of the story, and to the story and the meaning behind the story so much more.
And speaking of that vision, how was working with director Joey Travolta on this? And what was some of the advice that he gave you along the way that really resonated?
I've known Joey for a while now, and he has such a big heart, and that carries over to everything he does. And you know having vision as a director, having vision in general, like being able to be like, this is what I want, this is what I want to see, and this is how we're going to do it. And he has that, and he's always had that. And so this was the first time professionally working with Joey, and it was an amazing time in his cast. And um you know the people that he picked, he knew what he wanted. He's like, this is the character, and plugged and played. And um very patient and very kind. And when you're working with a young cast and young upcoming filmmakers who want to do it, patience is key. And this movie, for a lot of us, wasn't just a project, but a learning experience and a guiding experience. So it's almost a mentoring aspect of, like, these are our future filmmakers, these are our future writers, this is our crew and our staff and our team. And I think Joey also is a great teacher. And in everything he looks at it first as himself, in my opinion, and as a teacher. And he does his best to give that knowledge. And he just does that naturally.
And what do you hope this movie brings to light about people living with a disability?
For me, what I would like people to see is learning to be patient, but also learning to accept. This is a Christmas movie in all sense of the word, but Christmas is just the season of it. Learning to embrace, learning to love, and learning to reach out and to seek and to find that self within, like find yourself. Find what you need to grow. And my character um um and everyone's path kind of allowed them to do that. And so I think when people see this film, there's a lot to take away for each individual person. Whatever that you are going through in your life and whatever that you are facing, I feel that this movie has a message for you, and kind of be able to give you some insight into that.
Now, you mentioned this earlier, but maybe we could go just a little bit deeper into how did this inclusiveness of providing roles for actors with disabilities carry on even behind the scenes?
I mean, I mentioned earlier we were 70%, 75% disabled cast and crew. Our team on every side of the field had someone with a disability that is a working professional. Not and they didn't get hired just because of that disability. They're hired because they're top of their craft. They're young, they're trying, and they're learning, and they're working to be that top of the craft, despite what a lot of people have the perception of disability. And I know that I hate that phrase when I say despite your disability, but there's still the stigma. There's the and we have to learn that there's always going to be some aspect of that in society. But learning to embrace what you are and fighting against it, and no matter what the perception of you, because we all deal with perceptions. We all deal with someone not knowing. And, people never get the opportunity to learn. But it's up to the individual, whatever you may face, whatever that you are going through, it's up to you to be like, look, this is what I want. This is my vision, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. And I think that was all of us on set.
Why, in your view, is this a perfect film to watch with the family around the holiday season, but then also any season beyond Christmas?
I think there are a lot of reasons why this is a great movie to watch as far as family and, holiday season and not holiday season. Because, it tackles many different things that young families are going through. And it's family friendly as far as, the content of it. 2024 family friendly is not 2006 family friendly. There is a big gap in what is socially acceptable on TV and film that is still rated PG. But this film, I find, we tackle hard issues in it as far as trying to find oneself and contemplating decision making. But we never overstep our bounds and use profanity or use anything like that. It's very visually, generally pleasing, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And RJ, this has been a fantastic discussion. I want to thank you so much for giving us a behind the scenes look at Carol of the Bells. It really is a great film, and I'm delighted that we could talk about it.
Thank you so much. We're so proud of our film, and we filmed it quite some time ago. So I'm just very grateful that it's getting out there and it's making the rounds and people are getting opportunities to see it.